Chapter 10. Harper. My mind was reeling with the weight of the information I had just uncovered. The contents of the envelope had sent shockwaves through my being, shaking the very foundation of my reality. I walked briskly through the bustling streets of the city, my gaze darting from one face to another, desperately hoping to catch a glimpse of the mysterious woman who had delivered that ominous message. But as a few minutes turned into 30, my hopes began to fade. The sea of faces blurred together, an indistinguishable mass of strangers going about their lives, unaware of the turmoil consuming my thoughts. I couldn't shake the feeling that every passing moment brought me closer to a looming danger, that time was slipping through my fingers like grains of sand. With a heavy heart and a growing sense of unease, I made my way back to the office. As I entered the familiar space, my eyes were drawn to a small brown box resting innocuously on my desk. Its presence seemed to demand attention, as if it held secrets that could unravel the fragile thread of my existence. Curiosity mingled with apprehension as I approached the box. I examined it carefully, searching for any clues as to its origin or purpose. There were no markings, no notes, nothing to offer guidance. With trembling hands, I lifted the lid, revealing its contents. A small cell phone lay nestled inside, its sleek design contrasting with the weight of the situation. I picked it up, turning it over in my hands, a mix of curiosity and trepidation coursing through me. My eyes then fell upon a white card, simple yet cryptic. It bore a message that sent shivers down my spine. Take the phone to somewhere quiet and dial #4. Instructions will follow. Fear gripped me tightly, squeezing my heart as I realized the connection between this phone and the mysterious woman from earlier. It was clear that she held more answers, that this phone held the key to the unfolding mystery. Yet it also carried a threat, a chilling ultimatum. My mind raced with conflicting thoughts. Should I comply? Could I trust the instructions that would follow? The weight of the world and my sanity rested on my shoulders, and the future of the business hung in the balance, and I couldn't ignore the urgency of the situation. Taking a deep breath, I made my way to the bathroom, ensuring that I was alone. Inside the confines of a stall, I dialed the instructed number, my finger trembling against the keypad. The phone came alive with a mechanical voice crackling through the line, its cold and detached tone sending a shiver down my spine. Harper, follow these instructions or Zephyr dies. A knot tightened in my stomach as the gravity of the situation became even more apparent. There was no turning back now. I braced myself for the unknown, knowing that the path ahead was fraught with danger, uncertainty, and the desperate hope that I could uncover the truth and protect the ones I held dear. Placing the phone on the floor, I placed my face in my hands and began to sob uncontrollably. Officer Davis. Sitting in my lair, the seeds of my well-organized plan had just been planted. Zephyr was going to be in for the ride of his life, and his bitch of a personal assistant was going to not only be the laughingstock of the entire city, but the instrument for his downfall. The information that was gathered from the virus was priceless. Terabytes on top of terabytes of information had been flowing into the system since it was launched. If the police department's computers had access to this information, crime would probably be wiped out in a matter of weeks from the city. True, the prisons would be the only buildings with people in them and the rest of the city a ghost town, but all the same. Lighting another cigarette, I inhaled as Olivia started to make her way down the stairs. In her hands, she carried subs and coffee from the same outside diner she had met Harper at. Placing the items on a nearby table, she grabs her sandwich and coffee, walks to the other side of the table, and sits down. So, did everything go as planned? I asked. Taking the lid off the coffee, Olivia opened 3 sugar packets and poured them into the brown liquid. A smile came across her face as she uttered in pure delight, better than I had ever expected it to. When I handed her that envelope, I felt as if I were Virginia Hall giving the troops the plans to win World War II, cracking open one of the creams. She poured that in as well. Don't get ahead of yourself, Marie of Lion. It was just a few documents and photos. We still need to get her on the hook to take this guy down. She could still decide to tell him everything, and then our entire plan goes down the toilet, he said, grabbing his sandwich and unwrapping it. Oh, she will play ball. Especially when she calls and we threaten his life. I can't wait for that. Once she's under our thumb, the real game begins, she said, taking a sip of her coffee, then unwrapping her sandwich. As Olivia was just about to dive into her sandwich, the phone rang. A grin came across both our faces as we knew we had her. Placing her sandwich down, Olivia grabbed the voice changer and held it close to her face. A moment later, she answered and started to make her demands. Harper, listen carefully. The world that you have been living in is a lie, built on the backs of the rich and powerful. While the middle class has been wiped from the face of the earth, rich assholes like Zephyr have been giving nothing back to society. In the packet that was given to you by one of our operatives contains information that we want you to use to take down your boss and to destroy others in the top 1%. We also want you to pretend to be his girlfriend. Get close to him, learn all that you can about his dealings, and report them back to us. Use this phone as your line of communication. Olivia paused for a moment, smiling at me. Failure to comply with our demands will result in devastating secrets being leaked to the public. To prove that we are serious, read the headlines in the morning paper. This will show that we have more information on the powerful elite than you know. Finally, failure to answer this phone, contact us with new information by 5 p.m, or let anyone know what you are doing will result in dire consequences. Do as you're told, or Zephyr will die. A moment later, the phone went dead. Davis and Olivia looked into each other's eyes and knew they had her. Now for the next phase of our plan.